Welcome to the weekly update video. We're going to be talking about a couple things, but there's not a lot of progress this week. Um, right now, you guys are on the kitchen countertop this week because I just was making lasagna for the week and it's almost done. It's in the oven. It's got probably like another 20 minutes before it's done. So you guys might get to see me take it out. So I didn't want to have to like go over my desk and then in the middle of the video get up and go over there and take care of it and everything. So you guys are on the countertop. What do you guys think? I say you guys because most of my viewers are guys. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, that's probably better. We'll see. But we don't have a lot to talk about this week. There has been, my thumb is finally pretty much almost healed. So I can start doing like push ups again, the pull ups, especially the pull ups, because if I do pull ups, I have to have like my thumb out and it's kind of destabilizing. So I can all get back into that, and I can get back into doing the circuit that I wanted to do, which is like 20 minutes. Uh, where you do it as hard as possible for like 20 seconds, then you rest for 20 seconds, do it again, and you do that in sets, and it's like 5 different exercises. Um, I'm gonna be starting that now because like some of them were like push ups, some of them were like mountain climbers or whatever. That was one of the exercises, and it's hard to do that when my thumb was, hurting, and I didn't want to hurt my thumb or mess up my thumb. So I ended up. We're gonna be starting that. I'm gonna be starting to track my sizes and everything. Um, Another thing I wanted to talk about. So there's not a lot of weekly update, but there's been two main things. One, I've realized that the last week I've eaten out during work, and I don't normally do that. I've been trying not to do that, and for like the last 2 weeks, I didn't do that at all, except for maybe one day a week that I ate out. The problem with that is I'm starting to realize that I have to essentially eat more. I have to eat more because by lunchtime I'm like super hungry. Even if I have a breakfast, I'm super hungry and all that. So I need to increase my breakfast or bring like a lunch to Walmart. The problem with that is, I don't like bringing a lunch to Walmart or whatever stuff in the fridge at the break room. But there's not much I can bring for lunch. It's like a sandwich, and I don't want to be eating sandwiches because sandwiches, there are problems with me eating peanut butter sandwiches. That's what I would eat if I brought lunch. So I've had to increase my calorie intake, or I'm starting to do that because I'm basically walking when I'm working at Walmart 20,000 steps per day, minimum, pretty much minimum. Maybe a little bit less, but in the general area. And so I burn up a ton of calories and I'm super hungry by lunchtime. Uh, you know, and I don't like really cooking a lot in the morning. So a lot of the time I would eat lasagna for lunch for my breakfast, and then when I got back to the apartment, I would also eat lasagna. So I would do my lasagna pretty fast too. But I also got tired of eating lasagna most days, especially the last time I made it because it wasn't that good. I didn't make it that well. I don't know if it was like the sauce. I used too many sauce. So I used too much sauce on the layers instead of just adding more layers. I think that was part of it. It could have been the noodles because they're pre-cooked noodles that you just put in the oven. You don't have to boil them or anything. Could have been that. So I'm making another attempt. I made more layers and I did less sauce per layer. So, and I added more cheese. So we'll see how it goes. But that only lasts me a couple of days. So what I've done is I went grocery shopping and I got a lot of stuff. So I got some stuff to make some sweets. If you don't know, right now I'm trying to learn to bake, but also to cook in general, but bake in general. Um, and right now I bought some stuff. I bought some like flour and everything. I bought another thing of cake mix if I want to make another cake. But I bought a lot of um, let me get it. So I bought a lot of ingredients for like baking. Like I bought some sugar, um, some grated sugar, I think that's called. It's something else. But I bought like a lot of dough and cake mix and all that stuff, so I can make um, cakes, but I can also make uh, muffins, but I can also make cupcakes. That's what it is. So I got some stuff. I should have had all this stuff out. So I went to Walmart. I got an extra pan. It is nonstick. I want to try it out. It's ceramic nonstick, so it's not like plastic or anything, and it's a cheap one. But I want to try it to see if I can make eggs because I don't like having to wash out all the eggs and that taking a long time. So I got another pan too because I only have two of them. Use them pretty frequently. One of those. I got a wire tray to like put stuff where it's cooling, like for cookies or any stuff like that. Hadn't got that, so I got that, and these are pretty cheap ones. So I got these cupcake muffin makers, whatever, where you pour the dough in and then you bake it. Um, I got those because I realized is I hit my calorie in either go for meat or I can go for the time to see how long I got on that. I can go for meat or I can go for carbs and some fruits, but fruits aren't that filled like fruit to gain a lot of calories. There's not a lot of calories in fruit. There's a lot of sugar, but not calories. So it's not that. So performance based, for performance, I have to go for carbs or meat. Vegetables would be okay, but I don't like a lot of vegetables, number one, but also number two is they also don't. So if you're trying to lose weight, I would go for vegetables and fruit. However, I'm trying to gain, maintain my this little food. I had to make the meat or carbs, and the thing about meat is if I'm eating purely meat time, that's a good thing. I'm not spiking my blood sugar too much. I'm not spiking it as much as if I'm eating all the carbs and everything. Problem with meat is I have to prepare it every single time, and there's problems and everything, and it's harder for me to cook that or to meal prep that for the week than if I bake like a cake and then that's for the week. Or I make or something that boosts my calories up. Now there is a problem, but I want to talk about this. I also got this. I got general flour, like in general, just flour. So cutting board that I used to cut the meat that I got. Got a ton of groceries, but I also got some Kodiak protein mix for when you're making like waffles or any type of thing like that, and it's pure like protein almost. Um, and the ingredients aren't bad. They could be better, but it is what it is. And I'm gonna start making waffles in the morning with breakfast. Waffle maker that I got for like $10 on Amazon on Black Friday. It's a really I want to add that to my breakfast to bump up the calories because there's 9 servings per, which is about half a cup, um, which makes about 3 flapjacks, like 3 small flapjacks. That amount has 220 calories, and so that's good. And it's also, um, but back to it. I have decided to switch to carbs, so I'm adding a lot more carbs to my diet. Lasagna, which has pasta in it, because are protein, pure protein. So I don't have to worry about that. But the pasta spikes up my blood sugar. Now, because I'm eating it with protein, with cheese, spike my blood pressure as much as if I'm eating pure carbs. Because I do have to worry about that. With eating a lot, I have to watch my carb intake because I am adding sweets for the calories. Adding Maybe I might make a cake tomorrow or some cupcakes because I still have some icing and I still have that. What I might also do is I've gotten some blueberries in the freezer, frozen blueberries, and what I'm planning long term is making some blueberry muffins and then just freezing them because I could get them from the store. The problem with that is the store bought ones have a ton of ingredients in them to preserve them. so they don't get messed up, they don't rot in 2 or 3 days. Because if I make muffins in a couple days, they'll rot if they're not frozen. Because they're muffin, it's bread. If you're making pure bread, that's the thing with American bread. If you're eating American bread, like the store bought one, that's like a couple dollars, Walmart bread. I have some bread over here, like some butter bread. The problem with that is to keep the bread good for a while, you have to put a ton of ingredients in it to preserve it. And so it can you can have this bread for like 2 or 3 weeks, couple days, if in like a day or two, or it's a couple days, I forgot, it gets hard, it gets messed up, and then and so that's what happens with muffins too. And so for cakes you can have them for a couple of days, but muffins it's less from what I've looked up. And so I don't want to get store-bought ingredients, because that's going to be a bigger hit to my health than if I'm eating muffins every day from stuff I bake myself and I know all the ingredients and they're good ingredients and all that stuff. And, so that makes it healthier. So I'm still taking a hit to my health because I'm eating a lot more carbohydrates. However, there is a couple ways to mitigate it, and one of them is I'm making them myself. So it's not store bought with a ton of like 50 ingredients in the muffins or anything, all that stuff. No, I'm doing it myself. So that's one good thing. But my blood sugar right. Okay, because I don't want to get diabetes, and my family is predisposed, or what is it called? I forgot the word. Um, Basically, it's not rare for the people in my family to get diabetes. I mean, even in America, a lot of people have diabetes, or they're pre-diabetic and they don't know it. Majority of Americans are pre-diabetic. From what the books I've read, uh, a lot of the tests that you do to determine if you're diabetic, um, a lot of them show that a lot of people are not in that range to be considered diabetic in the American health system or in the health system in general, but they still have high blood sugar, which is not good. Okay, so I want to keep my blood sugar down because I'm eating all these sweets. And so there are a couple ways to mitigate that. One, I am exercising every day. So that is good. I'm exercising every day. I am also walking, during the days I work at Walmart, at least 4 days a week, I'm walking like 20,000 steps. Uh, so that's good. That'll decrease that. Another thing I plan on doing is getting some apple vinegar, um, any type of vinegar, but I prefer apple vinegar, and taking that before meals. Just add it to water and take it, because that decreases the blood sugar spike by like 25%. It's very good in the studies it's shown. Um, a lot of people know about this, but I don't think a lot of people actually do it. But it's in a lot of studies. If you follow a lot of health influencers, they do say this, and I've looked at the studies. They're correct on that. You can lower your blood sugar spikes by like 25%. It almost, because there's a certain type of acid in it, ascorbic acid, that's in all types of vinegar. So you can use different types of vinegar, but apple vinegar, that's what I'm going to get. Two spoonfuls with water before you eat will lower the blood sugar spikes. And so that's what I'm doing to mitigate the blood sugar spikes. I might also take some pure cinnamon sticks or whatever, like a day, every day, like, once or twice a day, or, because cinnamon will lower blood sugar. But because, like I said, my family is pre-diagnosed for it's coming up. Okay, that's pretty much ready. Because of that, I need to watch it. Because I can be perfectly healthy and still have high levels of blood sugar spikes or whatever, and high levels of insulin, which in turn leads to diabetes. Thankfully, I'm not overweight or obese, so metabolically, I'm doing pretty well. Compared to the average American, but also average American, I think it's like 90% of Americans have some problem with their metabolism. Whether that's because they're overweight, or it could also be what they're eating. They're not eating right stuff. They're eating ultra processed food, fast food every day. Like, I'm not or anything, but that does have an effect on your health. So I'm trying to the lasagna. Um, I got to take the tinfoil wrap off and then gotta wait for the cheese to kind of melt. Yeah. So I gotta wait for the cheese. I took off the tinfoil. Um, we'll give it a little bit of time. And so back to the video. So those are the things I'm trying to do is maybe take some cinnamon in the morning, like pure cinnamon, because that lowers blood sugar spikes. But also the apple vinegar is probably the number one way to lower blood sugar spikes. So if you're ever diabetic or any of that stuff, I would recommend before meals taking that, two um, spoonfuls of apple vinegar or some type of vinegar, anything that has that's what it is. Okay, I'm trying to do that, but if you are pre-diabetic, if you have high blood sugar spikes, I would do it. I kind of wish I had one of those things that you eject on your arm and that monitors your blood glucose levels throughout the day, like in real time, and you can check it on the app. Sorry, my allergies are still messed up. um and you can check that. However, I think at least in the US, which I think is dumb, you have to have a prescription from a doctor to get that. And I think that's dumb. A lot of rich people who track their blood sugar glucose get around this because they can pay off a doctor or whatever, but I can't do that. So, and I don't want to prick my blood every time to monitor blood glucose levels. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I forgot to get that at the Walmart whenever I went. Um, and so that's what's happening is I'm adding more carbs to my um, to my diet. Now it's going to be whole foods. I'm going to be making it myself. Cutting potatoes to make fries because I also got some rice too to add to my carb intake. Because what I've realized is I've eaten a lot of lasagna, but I don't want to have to keep eating it all the time. I would like to have some measure of other foods that I can eat. And so I got some rice. I haven't been a good fan of rice, but that's because I never like cooked it right. And number two is I never added any stuff to it. So I'm gonna try that stuff out. So I'm talking about fries and all that stuff because over here you see the two stuff. I have a rice cooker that I bought today and a air fryer. Also my toaster and my if you look over, I got my toaster. This is my egg beater. If I ever want to beat eggs or like whenever I'm mixing stuff like cake stuff. And then right here is my waffle. Um, sorry, there we go. It's my waffle maker. So I have all that stuff over here. So I have all that. So I'm going to start making waffles in the morning with my breakfast. We're going to try to make eggs with the nonstick pan. So hopefully that'll help with cleanup. It is ceramic stick stuff. So I'm only going to use that for like eggs usually, unless I need the pan because I can use it for other stuff. It is a skillet pretty much. But we're also going to be making sweets. So tomorrow I'm thinking about either making some cakes, a muffin, or a cupcake. The muffins is I can freeze them because, like I said, muffins take like they can stay in the fridge for like 2 or 3 days, I think, or outside. But outside of that, you gotta keep them in the freezer if you want to have them long term. So I might make a ton of muffins tomorrow as like a meal prep and just keep them in the freezer, and then like a day or two before, take one out, put it in the fridge, or put it down like the countertop, whichever one, because that will add some calories too if I don't feel like making a waffle. But yeah, I'm gonna probably make like a cake or two because last time I made a cake and it was okay, it was pretty good. So I might make a cake. I might make some biscuits. I don't know. I have some sugar, so I'll probably add that. But um, that's what I've been doing. Another thing that I did, and that's about what's cooking wise, what's been happening. So I'm probably going to be cooking stuff tomorrow. With the baking, I have gotten a couple things. So I went to Barnes and Nobles to pick up a book that specifically came out yesterday. Yeah, I got it yesterday. I went to Barnes and Nobles, picked up the book I wanted. However, I ended up getting two more books. the book I'll get wanted, I'll talk about that. But back to it. I got a baking book, Bake Class Step by Step from Barnes and Nobles for $12. It was discounted. Usually it's 30. Um, but there are like a ton of ingredients. Sorry, this is my cup. There are a ton of ingredients in it. Like I want to make a cheesecake, but also there's some simple stuff, but there's muffins. But I end up like I might make some apple or like I want to make um these muffins. However, banana to it, just have it with blueberries. Um and it has coconut flakes in it, so I might keep that. But I do have everything I really need to make that. So I was inspired by the books and I went through and I looked at some ingredients, but it also talks about like how to do stuff. There's like four different types to bake and like what it means by the different types of butter, because in some ingredient recipes you have butter that's room temperature. Some of them are melted butter that you use, and then some of them are fridge wise butter. So I got that, and it has like the buffet baking tools that you need. Um, some cake tins and everything, mixing bowls. So I got a mixing bowl because last time I made uh, some last time when I was making the cake, the bowl was not big enough for all the like dough and everything, and I mixed in, so I didn't have as much of dough as I needed. However, the cake still turned out really good, perfectly fine. At least it was really moist and everything. So the cake turned out fine. It's just I didn't have as much dough as I could have because some of it fell out because mixing it in a really small bowl. So I got this book because I went to Barnes and Nobles, but this wasn't the book I wanted to get. I got two books. Um, so there's a woman I follow on YouTube who does content. She's like a multimillionaire who bought small businesses like the dry cleaning businesses, um, trash disposal businesses, all that stuff. She bought those businesses, started managing them, renovating those companies that she bought, and then she made millions off of it. She makes YouTube content and everything. She's pretty famous on YouTube. So she released a book yesterday, How to Make Extraordinary Wealth Buying Ordinary Businesses, Main Street Millionaire. Um, this was the book I went to go everywhere in Barnes and Nobles to find it. There was one on the shelf hidden away with all a ton of other books. And I was like, this is the new release for a book. And she's pretty popular on YouTube. She's released by Penguin Publishing, which is a major publisher. So you would think she got more attention, but no, at least her book didn't. So I ended up finding it after like an hour and a half of searching. Um, so I got that. And I also got another book about businesses, which is The Enduring Enterprise: How Family Businesses Thrive in Turbulent Conditions. Um, so I got those two books plus the baking one, about $70. Um, so I got that. Let me check the lasagna. So I ended up getting those three books. So the baking will help me bake more goods and everything, and then these will be the books that I wanted to read. So we'll read them in a little bit, or not like in the video, but I'll be reading them in the next couple days. Um, but yeah, I got the baking book to bake more goods, learn more about baking because I'm not very good at it. I am a beginner, but hopefully I can make like a cake tomorrow, maybe in one of the cake pans, and have that for the next 3 or 4 days, and then have some muffins, make some muffins. I don't know. I might bake two things. I might make a cake, and then I might make some muffins tomorrow. We'll see. I have to do some stuff. I have some errands to run tomorrow, so I probably won't have as much time to cook and everything. So hopefully it goes well and everything. The cake goes well. Last time I made one that was pretty good. I still have icing and I have the cake mixed. Do have some eggs, so I'm not out of eggs or anything, and I might make some muffins or some cupcakes instead of the cake. I don't know. Um, one or two every day with every meal. Another thing I'm doing is I'm eating. If I'm going to be eating, I'm not just going to eat some dessert. So it's not like I'm going to snack on cake when I get home and just eat cake. No, 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 no. If I'm going to eat something that is heavily carb based, that has a lot of sugar, which is the cake, cupcakes, muffin, I need to eat something with meat before because that will also lower the blood sugar spike and kind of even it out over the long term. So that's the things I'm doing to control my blood sugar. But I got those books. I'll be reading them. I have another two or three books. Let me go get them. Uh, I was working at Walmart a couple of days ago and I was shopping for some stuff at the Walmart I work at. Usually I grab like one or two stuff after my shift. So I just go to the self checkout, scan something real quick, pay it off, and then leave. And that allows me to like not have to buy a ton of stuff and then, one day a week or whatever. And it only takes like 5 or 10 minutes to grab something because I already know where it is because I have it on the app and I know what I'm going to get. It's not like I'm deliberating, like I'm going to grab this and this and this, or maybe I should grab this. No, I go straight to the area, grab something, and then go straight to the self checkouts. So I was in by the book section and I was looking to see if there are any books at the Walmart. And Walmart usually has like one aisle for books, and they're not good books. But I ended up picking up Five Love Languages, The Secret to Love That Lasts, which is a very famous book. I wanted to read it. I've heard tips from people on YouTube from the book and everything. I've never read the actual book, so I got that book. So that's like the three books I got to read plus the other stuff. But that was that was pretty much it um, for what I've been doing. Of course, college is coming along and everything, but the other stuff, like there has been a lot of progress in a lot of stuff, and I don't like to talk about my college classes on the channel because I'm more towards other stuff in my life right now. So tomorrow I got to get a haircut. That's one of the errands. I've been putting it off. So I got to get a haircut. Um, that's a big errand. I don't think I have a lot of other stuff, but I'll probably try out the air fryer tomorrow or the rice cooker. Plus, make a cake, make some type of sweet to up my calorie intake. Tomorrow's my last day from off from work, so I'll eat the cake stuff during the days I work, and then the days I have off, I might not eat as much. Whatever it is, I kind of want to. I think I need to increase my calories to gain weight because right now I'm trying to gain weight for the bulk, and that's not really happening because I'm, spending so much calories walking during the days at work. But I also try to be active on the days I don't have work. So that's that. I don't really have anything else to do. Um, I'm checking the lasagnas. Ooh, I think it's done. I think it's done. Let me pull it out. The sauce was like kind of bubbling. The cheese isn't all the way done, but I can just microwave it because I'm not going to eat it right now. I'm just going to put it in the fridge once it's cooled down, and then that'll probably be lunch tomorrow because I have work tomorrow. Or no, I don't. I don't have work tomorrow, but it'll be lunch tomorrow. Um, so let me get it. Yeah, I could have probably done another layer with the sauce. Let me turn on the fan. It's not smoking a lot. It's just hot. I could have done more sauce or less sauce. Done another layer with less sauce, but more cheese. It's a lot of cheese. Uh, But we'll see. I used a different tomato sauce. I didn't use the Walmart one. I used Hunt's tomato sauce, pure honey sauce. Usually I used to do like some diced tomatoes plus regular tomato sauce plus tomato paste and then onions plus the meat and everything. Today I was like, now, one thing of meat No onions or anything. I didn't want to cut onions today. I'm gonna meal prep all the onions and put it in my fridge tomorrow. That might be another thing. I'll use a slicer. I do have gloves for cutting stuff, so I won't slice my thumb off like I did last time. Lesson learned, but I might do that. But I did also didn't use as much meat. Usually, because what happens is I usually get like one of those rolled up hot dogs style of ground beef, which is like a couple pounds of ground beef and like a hot dog thing rolled up. You guys probably know what I'm talking about if you ever been to the meat section at Walmart. Um, so I have that, and what I usually do is once I get it back, I get to the apartment with all the stuff, everything I need, whatever. I end up cutting the meat while it's still in the fridge section. I start cutting it into like portions of like zero point 0.7 pounds or a pound. I didn't weigh it this time, so I just cut it into like four sections, and I didn't get a huge one like last time. This one was a smaller one of 80-20 meat, so 80% meat, 20% fat. I get that because fat's good for you. That was a lie sold to a lot of Americans by food companies, by pharmaceutical companies, that fat was bad for you, and that's the reason you have heart disease. But it's not. So I get that. I get the 80-20. Plus, it tastes a lot better than the leaner meats. Because you got to realize also is, I think it's for meat, fat makes you digest protein a lot more compared to if you just eat protein by itself. So leaner, leaner pounds, leaner, like if you get 90% protein, 10% fat, you're not going to absorb as much as the meat as you could have protein, because you didn't eat as much fat with the meal. That's just a thing. I think that's just chemistry and biology. You can look that stuff up if you're more interested, but that's not the point of this video. So yeah, I cut it into sections and then I put it in a freezer bag and I put it in the freezer, let it freeze, and then the day before or the morning of, I put it in the fridge. And when I come home, I make my lasagna, or if I make meat and I want to make like a taco or something like that, then I do that. And so that kind of keeps the meat good while while I can defrost it morning. I just got to remember to put it in the fridge. It sometimes doesn't happen. And that kind of delays my lasagna making because I don't like to defrost in the microwave, because I had a bad experience with it, but also I don't like defrosting stuff in the microwave, if I don't have to. If I want to, I can, but I don't like to do it. So I'm looking at my lasagna. Um, that's good sauce. I use Hunt's tomato sauce this time. So I made the lasagna. Um, that's it. But tomorrow I might try cookies too. I don't know what I'm gonna bake tomorrow. Um, that's it. I gotta wait for the valet to come pick up the trash because he hasn't picked it up the last 2 or 3 days. So now I have like two trash bags full of trash waiting, plus the one that's outside right now waiting to be picked up because he only picks up one trash bag in the trash can. Anything outside the trash can, he doesn't pick up. So I also don't like that we don't have like a morning option because he comes from like 6 to 9, and I wake up at 4. So if have to stay up till 9 to pick up the trash, because usually he takes like till the last minute to come pick up the trash. If they pick up the trash, that's the problem too. Is sometimes they don't even pick up the trash, or it's still 9:30, and then I've already brought the trash can in because you can get in trouble if you leave out the trash can out past the times. They'll like charge you like $50, if you leave the trash can in the hallway. And so it's like I gotta stay up and I get less sleep. I get like 7 hours of sleep because I have to take out my trash, and they only come for like 5 days out of the week. They don't come Saturday and Friday. Uh, so, but anyway, that's all I got for the day, for the video, but I'll probably be trying waffles tomorrow with my waffle maker. I might make some rice too and have that like as meal prep. I got to figure out what to pair it with because eating plain rice by itself isn't as good as if you add some sauce, or you make a cooked egg with it, or you do something else. Like I saw a thing with like Spanish rice where they add like tomato sauce and some spicy spices or whatever with the rice or whatever, and that's how they season their rice or make the rice taste better. I don't know. That's it for the video. Um, I'm still learning how to be an adult, I guess, because I'm still learning to cook. But I don't know. I kind of like cooking. It takes up a lot of time, and I don't like having to do it every single day and having to clean it up. But I'm getting better at it, and I'm starting to like the cooking. And I have an air fryer, so I might make some like I have some potatoes in there that I haven't used, so I can probably make some fries or something in the air fryer with some oil, olive oil. I'll probably use some seasoning. I have like smoked paprika and some salt and everything, and use that as seasoning. We'll see. So that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. That's the video title is learn to cook. I'm starting to like to cook. We'll see. So that's it for the video. I won't have to grab a lot of stuff for the next 2 weeks, and hopefully I don't eat out the next 2 or 3 weeks. So I've ultimately saved money because I probably spent with the books probably the last week or so. Thankfully, I've made some money. So my money from Walmart is starting to come in and everything. So that's kind of evened that out. I'm starting to make money. Uh, and so that's it. And when January comes, the good thing is that'll be my free month because I got a free month to rent here. And because I added like 3 extra months to my lease. So instead of a month lease, it's like 15. And so I get an extra month. Or I get a free month where I don't have to pay rent, just rent. So I don't have to pay that in January. I couldn't do it in December because they were like, you have to stay in your apartment for 1 month before you can use it. So it can't be December. You got to wait till January. So I got to wait for January. Um, so that'll be my free month. So I'll save up even more money for my Walmart. And by that time, I think my credit card will be maxed out, or one of my credit cards will be maxed out. So what does that mean? That means I won't be able to use it because my limit has been hit on that credit card. It's 0% in. It's been almost 6 months, so I think it's like in June or July or like August is when the free interest rate on the new credit card goes off. But by that time, I'll have probably like $5,000 or more in my bank account, or more than that, by the end of January. So I'll be able to. I could pay off all of that stuff, but I want to keep up some liquidity in my credit card or in my bank account. So I'll probably pay like half of it, and then once the free interest rate ends, I'll probably pay all of it. By that time, I'll have a better job, or what I'll be is if I can't get an accounting job, I'll get a second job. I'll force Walmart to stop messing with my schedule or I'll quit and I'll get 2 jobs, and pay off the rest of my credit card debt. Actually, not the credit card debt, but pay off all of the college education that I still have, like probably $9,000 from the previous colleges I've gone to, all the student loans from the government, pay all that stuff off and save up some money so I have enough money to find a new place to rent by the end of next year, because that's when I think my lease ends is January of 2026, and so I'll save up for the emergency, probably like $5,000 saved up, um, by next year if I don't get the accounting job. If I get the accounting job, that'll probably double my income. I'll pay off all of my credit card stuff, and I'll start to save up money, and eventually I want to save up dollars. Once all of my loans is paid off, everything's paid off, $50,000 will be enough for me to live for essentially a year, and that'll be like my emergency money. So if anything ever happens, like I lose my accounting job, whatever it is, I have the 50,000. Probably 10,000 of that would be set aside for starting up a business, buying a business, and then setting that up, all that stuff, doing that stuff and everything. So that's for the future, but I got to be financially secure. I'll be able to upgrade my apartment stuff and everything. Probably get like by next end of next year with the accounting job. If that goes well, I can start to add some stuff to my apartment, like have a couch and everything, um, all that stuff. And I want one of those towel warmers that you like that warms up your towel. So when I'm in the shower, I can come out and just have a like hot towel south off. It's very luxurious, but it's really nice from what I've heard from reviews and all that stuff. And it's just nice to add. But then I'll be able to get like more weights and everything. I might get like a treadmill in my apartment just to have for like on the thing and everything. I want one of those VR headsets at Meta release, the one that's like $300, or there's one that's 300, one of them that's 500. I want to get into that. Because normal games have never really immersed me too much. And so I want to try out VR games. But headsets are $300, $500 for the better quality one because there's the 3S and the 3, and the 3S is like lower quality, less, not as good lenses, um, intake lenses. I think that's what they're called, compared to the 3, which is like high fidelity, really immersive compared to the old generation, which was the MetaQuest 2. However, that'll take time. Plus, I'll be able to buy more books. So I'll be able to spend more money in investing in myself. Let me turn off the fan. This is kind of bad. Uh, I'll have more money to invest in myself more specifically. So not just upgrading my apartment so it's better and everything, but also upgrading my fitness level. I can start taking like sports classes to like make friends, but also learn a sport. So that'll increase my activity level. So not like I don't like going to the gym because like kind of boring to me. I can do it if I have a home gym, like I have dumbbells and all that stuff, and if I have like a bar to do like bench presses or stuff, I would do that. But like having to go to the gym, work out, come back, there's too much resistance. Plus, it's kind of boring to do that for an hour. So I prefer join a sport. So either it be like tennis or fencing, but like the swords or whatever. I prefer fencing honestly, but that costs a lot of money to get into. Like you gotta have the swords, pay for like the suit and everything to protect you, all that stuff. Um, Tournaments, all that stuff costs a lot more money than the tennis stuff. Um, but I prefer fencing because it's highly anaerobic. So by doing so, I'll essentially, as I age, if I'm doing fencing, I will keep the explosiveness as I age. So my lifespan, or not my lifespan, but my health span will increase if I'm doing fencing. Tennis is still the same way, but it's not as good. Fencing is, and you could do it for longer compared to tennis. So I would prefer the fencing because right now I'm in my 20s. So if I can pack on as much muscle as possible, and so I just have to maintain the same amount of muscle. If I get really good health wise, if I learn to cook so I can cook for myself, cook healthy foods, at least pretty good foods that are whole foods and everything, start to learn to monitor all my health and everything, then by the time I'm 60 or whatever, one, I won't be like stuck in a wheelchair, barely able to like go upstairs or any of that stuff. No, I'll have all that stuff and I'll be able to run marathons as I'm 80 or 90 years old because there are 90-year-olds, 80-year-olds who do that stuff because you can train even in old age. You have to go slower and it takes longer, but you can like build up the muscle even in old age. But it's a lot easier when you're 30. So I want to set all that stuff up when I'm young so I can just set it and just let it go and just build a habit around it. So, build up as much muscle as possible. I want to integrate. See, when I make a lot more money, I'll be able to buy a squat rack and have that in my apartment with like some mats to catch the weight and everything. And the reason for that is because I want to be able to do squats because squats help your spine a lot. Um, because if they look at the bone density of a person who squats with like high weights compared to the average person, their spine is a lot stronger, and that's very good for your health span, which is how old you can live until you can't enjoy life anymore. You can't walk upstairs, you're stumbling, or you have to be in a hospital. That's your health span. Well, lifespan is your actual age before you die. And so I want to be able to do that. But also, weightlifting, weightlifting is the best method to reduce bone loss. Sprinting works well, but it's not as good. Running works well because you're putting pressure on your bones by hitting the ground while you're running. However, it's not as good as weights. Weights is the best. So if I can get like a squat rack with a bar with some safety limits, so if I ever fail, I'm not going to hurt myself. They'll just hit the bars, the safety bars. I'll be able to do that. and I want to be able to get like a bench, whatever, not for just the bench press, but really for like Nordic curls, which help with your hamstring. But you need really a bench with that, and like I can plans for my core on a bench and everything a lot easier to do, and so I could do that and all that stuff. But that's like an investment in myself that I need more money for. And I'm not, if I don't have to worry about my apartment and I have more money, I can invest in that because then I can spend a couple $1,000s for a home gym in my apartment. And I don't have to worry about, oh, well, if I move out of this apartment, I don't have the money to rent a moving truck or a moving company, so I'll be able to do that. So that's the thing is with the money, if I'm making more money, if I'm making 50K, which would be my starting salary as an accountant, that would be enough to pay off all my debts, invest in myself for an year, save up enough money that I can start my own business, but preferably buy someone who has a business who want to sell. Because in the next 5 years, and it's already starting to happen, a lot of people are retiring and they have businesses, small businesses, but businesses that they want to sell. And so it's a lot easier to get like owner financing and everything. But that's a little bit further in the future. And, if I get my perfect in the next year, plus, my cooking gets a lot better in the next year. I will have the health mindset, the health stuff, and everything kind of set away. Like I'll have that build up, that habits, all the habits I need, everything. So like if I'm 35, I look way younger, or something like that. So we'll see how it is. But that's the I think next goal is get the accounting degree, get an accounting job, um, with that money, extra money, reinvest into myself, instead of like the stock market or any of that stuff, because I get better returns on my life if I invest in myself than if I invest in the S&P 500 or the stock market or anything. I'm talking about long term. If you're going to be like trading stuff, like you're trading stocks, short term day trading, any of that stuff, you can make a lot more money, but it's really risky. But I'd rather invest the money into myself, and there's once I have all that stuff, I just have to maintain it. And I can make more money if I invest in my education, get better, maybe go to some trainings, learn how to do certain skills or whatever. I can increase my pay. Maybe I can move up to another, like become a controller if I take, lessons on how to be a controller in an organization, which is basically as a controller, you manage the financials of a company. You're like below the chief financial officer, but you're higher than just the ordinary financial accountants and all that. And so like I could do that and everything after a year, 2 years, and that's how I move up. And eventually, quit the accounting job because what happens is inflation is not keeping up with jobs right now, and I don't see that long term ever happening. That job wages increase with productivity at the same rate. So then, increase at the same rate as inflation. So then, I have a lot of money. Otherwise, in the next 20 years, inflation is going to eat my salary away, and I'm going to be like most people in America, where unless something changes, we're going to be in poverty levels. If the inflation keeps rising and salaries keep staying the same, stagnant. And so long term, unless I become like a CFO, or, I move up the corporate ladder high enough that I'm making like 300K a year or 200K a year after taxes, not before tax, after taxes, then it's not going to be worth it. So then I'm going to have to, unfortunately, start my own business, or this YouTube channel will help me out making enough money. And those two combined with my income, from accounting will essentially be able to cover, me to become wealthy enough that I'm not, in poverty level, or I'm not even like middle class. Like eventually I'd want to reach like the rich class where I don't have to worry about working a job ever again. Like, I can make enough money that I don't have to work for the next 30 years or 50 years or whatever. And have that stress taken off of me worrying about money. However, to do that, you got to take some risks and everything, and you can't do the like normal path of getting a job, moving up the corporate ladder. I mean, some of you guys probably will, and maybe you already have done that. However, that's like 1 out of 1,000. Same thing with starting a business. So I have to choose the direction, and I'd rather choose business because I have more freedom and everything. It's easier to make a lot of money through business. I believe, at least, than trying to climb a corporate ladder where you're competing with thousands of other people in an organization. If you're a large organization, you're fighting against everyone to become the CFO, CTO, or whatever, and it's all about connections and how well you know people and everything. So it's a lot harder to do that than I think start a business. But that's like long term. It might take 10 years for a business to take off, and then it might take 10 years to become a CTO, CFO, or whatever part of an organization that's the highest level. So that's it for the video. I gotta go. I didn't think this video would be as long, but it is. Thanks for watching. Um, have a fantastic day. I'm kind of learning to be an adult now, starting to learn to cook and everything, take care of myself, building up a routine. So I'm not eating sandwiches every single day. I also want to talk about this. I found a good alternative to peanut butter because the normal brands of peanut butter are really bad for you. If you look at the ingredients, a ton of seed oils, which are bad for you, but they increase inflammation. Um, so what I have been doing is I bought some. This is the only peanut butter that I have at Walmart that is only. Sorry, it's making a mess. That is only the one that doesn't have more peanuts and salt. So this peanut butter I got, which is organic peanut butter by Snuckers. Um, I recommend it if you like peanut butter. I use it for a snack if I don't feel like. The thing with peanut butter is they add a ton of seed oils. If you get Jif, you get any other types. So you want to find one with 2 ingredients, and you want to check the ingredient list. This one's only peanut butter, only peanuts and salt, less than 1% of salt. That's it. No organic flavors or any of that stuff, or seed oils or coconut oil, any of that stuff. Pure peanut butter, pure peanuts and salt. Snuckers peanut butter. The problem with regular peanut butter is when I eat it, I don't feel good the next day. Um, Same thing with bread. I try not to eat a lot of bread because it messes with me. You don't want to eat too much. So that's it for the video. I just wanted to let you guys know if you like peanut butter. I have a friend who is allergic to peanut butter. He's allergic to nuts, so they can't have peanut butter. But I like peanut butter. If you like peanut butter, if you like it as a snack, try not to eat the regular type. Get something that's just peanuts, maybe some salt, or make your own. I hear it's not that hard. You can make your own, whatever it is. That's just a little tip for you guys, but it's time to end the video. It's been 53 minutes. Have an amazing day, you guys. Have an amazing week. I'll probably make a video tomorrow because I got to release 2 videos per week. So have a fantastic day, fantastic week. I'll see you guys next week, whatever it is. Or no, probably tomorrow, but we're going to say next week for the weekly update. Whatever day, the weekly updates next week. Um, and I'll probably read some books and everything. But what about you? What's some investments in your life that you guys want to do? It could be whatever. Maybe it's going on traveling, becoming more travel, I guess is the word. Having more wisdom because you get to explore new cultures and new places. Maybe that's one thing. Maybe, you're buying health equipment, or you're getting some dumbbells that you keep at home, or a pull-up bar, or you're investing in that gym membership or tennis membership or whatever it is. Just let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week for the weekly update, but also tomorrow probably for the video. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you. I always do the thumbs up.